Well, that is not how we thought that Game 5 was going to go. As we welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fadool, Lynam and Marc Jackson. And guys, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Sluggish out of the gates, bad rotation, bad defense, bad shooting. I mean, Mark, where did it all go wrong for you?
I just didn't like the
energy. What was it? I know.
I didn't like the energy, Amy. The sense of urgency, the way we played, the style of play, the walk the ball up the floor, pound it. One guy, yeah, you do this, while I pound the ball. The game is never perfect. If the game was easy, everyone would do it. And I hate the thing, oh, this is all you got to do. No, it's not that easy. But your energy and your defense have to travel. Your shots are not going to travel all the time, but energy and defense must.
Yeah, we thought the momentum was certainly going the Sixers' way after those games 3 and 4 that they won. And you know, obviously it's a different story when it's Miami, Jim, but they came out very flat. Obviously the Heat took advantage, but you're Doc Rivers on one of the timeouts that we saw on the broadcast, asking for them to move the ball, get something going in the positive direction, and they just didn't.
No, it's tough to find a lot of positives, if any, in a game like this. They were just soundly defeated, and they couldn't guard Miami, number one. And number two, I just didn't like what they were. I'm not sure I knew what they were trying to do in terms of the Miami defense stifling Joel Embiid. Essentially, to me, if I'm on target here, Joel Embiid, because of the way Miami played defense, he became a high post player the whole night. He was like up there above the foul line in that area. And yes, you can get him a ball there. And don't get me wrong, that's not the worst thing in the world. But literally, I don't know if he touched a ball in the low post area. I mean, literally. And you can't tell me that that's the way it's supposed to be. I will know this, that you're not going to win many games if Joel Embiid doesn't sometimes be able to post a basketball.
Yeah, we had a great tape in our pregame show where they were fronting and how they were denying Joel Embiid the ball, and we wondered how much they would do that, and obviously they did. But the way that the rotations were going, they never were able to get him in position. Is that something that Miami is just doing, or is it something the Sixers can do too?
No, I actually heard Doc on an interview after the previous game when somebody posed the question to him that versus the fronting defense. And Doc said, we have to get more high-low action for him. I mean, you get the ball up into the top of the circle with Joe down low and dump it down. But I at the risk of being dead wrong, I'm going to say that didn't happen one time the entire game. And if you're playing against the fronting defense and you want to be successful hurting that defense, you better get some high-low action.
Coach, and here's the end result of when the big man don't touch the ball in the low post. He doesn't go nowhere near it after that. If I'm not going to touch it down here, if we can't get it here, I want to touch the ball. I'm going to that three-point line. Miami's salivating. He's on three-point line. Oh, we got this now. So I agree with everything Coach just said. One thing as a former big that played in this low post area, when a guy's philosophy is to front you and to sit on your knees, to sit so low he's around your knee area, that's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And it prohibits you from getting off your feet because you're scared if you hit, he's going to undercut you, even though normally they don't. But that's the mental it takes. And that's what it hits you with. Joel Embiid tonight, this Miami defense, whole philosophy to sit on his knees, front him all the way out to the three-point line, make it impossible to touch the ball, and it worked.
Yeah, it was hard to watch, to be honest. We appreciate you joining us here on Sixers Postgame Live, but we got to talk about how this one was changed. I mean, we mentioned the turnovers, the inability to get stops, all that is how the Heat took advantage. They jumped all over the Sixers. It is our Colonial Nissan game changers. Out in transition, Jim, Miami just absolutely pushed the pace, and they were able to capitalize.
Yeah, well, plays like that, obviously, when they turn you over and it's a live ball turnover, you're in trouble because you can't get enough defenders back if, in fact, you can stop the ball.
And then, Mark, when you think about it, we've seen this before in the lulls of the regular season where the Sixers don't get out, off makes and misses. With these turnovers and the fact they turn directly into points, that's punishing for the Sixers.
Absolutely, Amy. That's an early opportunity for them. Look, transition off a missed shot. Look how we jog it down. We was complaining about a foul. And bam, with that center, beats us down the court for an N1. Yeah. And we're doing too much complaining. Too much. We lost the ball. We missing shots. It's physical. Play the damn game. Stop crying and complaining all the time. Just play the game. You'll get the foul call. Get back on D.
Yeah, Maxey in no man's land as he turns over and he's got Bam Adebayo coming down the pike. I mean, he's not going to – the only answer is for him to foul him, and I think at that point, obviously, you're not looking to do that. But the momentum was going so well for the Heat. You thought, hey, you're only down 12. Like, that's where we were. We were only down 12 in our minds thinking that's okay. And then the Heat come back in the fourth quarter, Mark, and start the quarter on a 7-0 run. And just to answer any doubt, like, this is our house. We're winning here. We're taking this series. You got to remember we're the 1 seed, right?
And you know, Amy, you know what? With watching this game and see the stands half empty. So it's not like they're getting charged from the fans. It has nothing to do with the fans. It's just the will to dominate you on the court. And Miami did that. They ran with the momentum. They just took it to the Sixers. And I respect that. So I want to make sure, I don't want to disrespect anything Miami did tonight. But one thing I didn't like, I'm going to repeat it again, you're going to hear this a lot from me tonight, is the effort. The effort, the fight was not there by the Philadelphia 76ers. That's something that cannot happen. We go down swinging. We got to do better.
Absolutely. It was probably the worst game, certainly in the playoffs, we've seen from Tyrese Maxey, 2 for 10, only 1 3-pointer. And defensively, well, Miami just absolutely went right at him. He is the subject of our Union Presents Lager Up. Use a couple of lagers after this one, Jim. But how did they attack him, and why did they make him pay so much on the defensive end?
Well, yeah, you're right. They did try to isolate him and drive on him. You know, you're taking advantage of a young player, and they're so reluctant to give help because of the three-point shooting. And therefore, essentially, when you're guarding a guy, you know, you're on an island. And, you know, Miami, they'll just like the Sixers do, like that one game back in the regular season when they really picked on Tyler Hero. It wasn't like Hero was horrible defensively, but it's very difficult, if not impossible, to keep a guy from getting close to the basket. And if they're making those little flip shots or plays at the rim, they're going to score on you.
Mark, I mean, we know defensively Tyrese Maxey's game isn't there yet, but it was really exposed in a big way. How does he bounce back from this?
So, Amy, if you watch that last clip, when in transition, when Tyrese was pushing that ball, he had Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler came and they formed a wall, which is fine. That's why his transition game is so important. But when they formed that wall and he swung that ball at Joel Embiid, we got to get some action on the weak side because he did his job. He pushed the tempo. They had 2 guys on him. The greatest compliment in the world as a basketball player is when they have to put 2 guys on you to prevent you from scoring. Miami Heat did that. Now we must punish them with ball movement on the other side. Right then, we caught that ball and we held it. We got to do better.
Yeah, the ball movement was non-existent. There's really no other way to say it, which is why you have a 35-point Game 5 loss.